Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. What a phenomenal time to be alive, and what a phenomenal time to be with you guys today. I believe that you are having a great time. I believe you're having a great moment wherever you are. It's an exciting moment. It's an exciting time for me as well as we share in this incredible and amazing topic. So let me just know where you are if you are with me. And if you haven't joined this platform, please can you subscribe and share with your friends and family? I would like you to share this particular section because what we're going to do here today will help you and will just save a marriage somewhere or might just save a marriage somewhere. Put it that way. So it's really, really important that you make up your mind to help someone that needs this help. I don't want you to listen to this alone. I want you to share this with your friend, share this with your husband, share this with your wife, share it with somebody around you. As a marriage coach, I know that trust is a big deal. And if you're married or you're in a relationship, you know that trust is a big deal. And if trust is a big deal, then it's important that we pay attention to it. Otherwise, we might just mess the whole thing up. And if we mess it up, it can be very challenging to get back. But even if it has happened, we can we can do something differently about it. So just hit the share button with someone that you want to have this conversation with and help them as well to grow in this aspect of their marriage, in this aspect of their relationship. Thank you once again for joining. Today, I'm following up from what I did last week, and I talked about how to build and maintain or sustain trust in your marriage. Today, I want to see how we can restore trust back because trust can be broken, and I will give you scenarios almost in form of a recap that trust can be broken. So we're looking at practical ways to build lasting trust in your marriage, lasting trust in your pre-marriage, lasting trust in the relationship that you are in. If you think about how critical trust is as a human being to a friend, to a colleague at work, to a business partner, is an integral part of every relationship. And imagine if that trust is no longer there, it's going to cause a lot of problems. But let's understand to build something, to restore something, there's an opposite to that, which is broken trust. So, what exactly is broken trust in marriage? What exactly is broken trust in marriage? Basically, this is where the belief and the faith that you have in your marriage or for your partner is eroded, it's loss of confidence, loss of faith, loss of reliability towards that your spouse or towards the marriage in itself. And this is due to repeated breach of betrayal. You have trust on someone, but have breached it. They've betrayed you based on the expectations that you guys had, based on your agreements, based on your commitments, your vows, and the goals and the values that you guys embedded within that relationship from the beginning. And this can happen when either one spouse or both spouse or partners fail to honor these agreements, these expectations, these commitment, these vows, these goals, whether implicitly or explicitly, directly or indirectly, break that expectations or those promises made within that relationship. And the biggest pain when something like this happen is hot. Someone is hot. Someone feels betrayed, lied to, deceived, and the possibility of repeated insecurity in the mind of this person will be huge. So this is why it's important for you to know that when you consistently and repeatedly breach or betray the vows of your marriage or relationship, the agreements, the decisions that was jointly made in a mutual state, expectations, commitments, goals, things that both people came together to work towards. And one person is betraying it. One person is hurting the other spouse. Or when both of them are doing the same thing, obviously that marriage will lose its confidence, will lose faith, will lose reliability to see whether it's going to work or not. So while we are looking at this, and even when you are trying to watch this later or you're trying to discuss this with someone, it's important for you to just look at yourself. Just think about yourself. Think about what is going on in your marriage and relationship right now. And what exactly can you do differently that can change the dynamics of that relationship and that can actually help you to make a better decision so that your relationship will not collapse. So that's what broken trust is all about. And it happens all the time. So if you're in that situation, in that place where trust is broken, and it's important that even when trust is there, you are careful and you know exactly why these things happen so that you can know how to avoid them in your own marriage and relationship. Hence, I would like to talk about what are the reasons. Now, what are the things that causes this trust to be broken? What breaks trust in our marriage and relationship? What are the situations and circumstances surrounding your relationship that can create this broken trust? Number one is infidelity. I think that's a common one that most people knows. When someone betrays the trust of being faithful. This will create a lot of problems when you engage in any form of extramarital affairs, whether it's intercourse, whether it's excurse or incourse or outcourse or intracourse and outercourse, whatever thing you want to call it, all kind of course. Course is almost like a meal. What kind of meal you ate from an extramarital affair perspective is forbidden. You've broken the foundation of trust in that marriage, in that relationship, and this will lead to insecurity of your partner, will lead to hurt, will lead to betrayal and full disappointment. So if you have gone through this or you are going through this, I sympathize with you. But we're going to find a way on how we can restore this back. Most people, when this happen, they call it deal breaker in the marriage and relationship. Some people say don't they can't forgive, but that's not the end of the relationship. Question is, why did it happen? What came about this? You can actually begin to look at this in a different perspective by reframing your mind. So I know it's painful. I know that it's difficult, and nobody want to be in that situation. But we know that these things are happening. The men are doing it, the women are doing it, the wives, the husbands are doing it. So what can we do? If you don't take each other for granted and you really want things to move forward, infidelity can turn your relationship around for good, or it can mess it up completely, depending on the attitude and the behavior and the state of mind of those involved. Number two is lack of communication. Do you know that poor communication or breakdown in communicating openly, honestly with your spouse can erode trust over time? When one partner fails to express their thoughts, they're always assuming things, they can't share their feelings with their spouse, their needs, honestly and truthfully. There's no way this will not create misunderstanding. And sometimes you will see subtle dislike towards your spouse. We call that resentment. That will not be the best for your relationship. So if you're looking at a relationship now, there's lack of communication. You're not freely sharing what is in your mind. Now, how do you expect trust to be built? So that's another way trust can begin to vanish or begin to dissipate from your relationship. Broken promises is another one. When you consistently break your commitment, you undermine the trust in your marriage. That's exactly what you're looking for. And this could be as simple as anything, but the impact towards the other spouse can be huge. You might be thinking it's trivial, it's not significant, but failing to follow through the expectations you guys have, the agreement, the commitment, and just being unreliable, there's no way that will not create mistrust in your relationship. And sometimes when you fail in your promises repeatedly, you break trust. Then you are now having a pattern of inconsistency, unreliability in your marriage and relationship. Your spouse will doubt you, they will not trust you. The other point is secrecy and deception. Wow, you don't know how much this has cost a lot of pain in relationships. We're married, and I love what the Bible said that both of them were married and they were naked and they were not ashamed. Relationship, marriage is all about honesty, openness, and transparency. But if you're listening to me or you're watching this or watching this in replay, whether on Instagram or on Facebook or YouTube, and you're just pondering, what secrets are you hiding from your spouse? Financial secrets, relationship secrets, pornography secrets, whatever it is that you're doing, and you are hiding this for so many years now. How long are you going to keep this? Sometimes you can't even sleep. You're in pain. You're always agitated. You're always at the edge because you just don't know what could happen. When you deliberately withhold vital information to your spouse, engaging in all sorts of deceitful behavior, definitely that will destroy trust between those spouses. It's your spouse knowing you as someone that don't keep promises. I don't know you're someone that anytime you speak, they know that you're lying. That's sad. That's a terrible place to be. Because the more you do this deception thing and secrecy kind of lifestyle, I can tell you that when your spouse continuously see this in you, continuously see that you are not someone that can be trusted, there's no way life will not be difficult for you in that marriage, in that relationship. And one thing that is sure, it will start creating barriers. Your emotional connection will begin to dissipate. And there's no way you guys will be close as you used to be. So you need to think about very carefully what exactly are you doing right now that your spouse needs to know, or you've done, but you've kept it, you've hid it. Well, and you know that you're suffering, you're not even okay. So why don't you think twice and just come clean and take responsibility? Others have financial betrayal. Oh, this is another big one. According to statistics, most stats, it shows that financial woe and financial confusion and incompatibility is one of the biggest divorce triggers. So financial betrayal, when you not faithful with your finances, when you're not transparent, you are hiding debts, you are collecting loans, you are doing all sorts secretly, you are overspending, you are taking money from savings, just financial irresponsibility. Wow, that is definitely going to lead to mistrust. And sometimes when you are even confronted, you scream, you shout, you give excuses, and you try to use your aggressiveness to silence things. So you're doing something terrible. You are destroying your relationship and your marriage with time. So when this begins to happen, you are significantly creating big strain and dissatisfaction in that marriage, in that relationship. And this is why it's important for you to consider if you are transparent in your financial dealings. And if there's some uncomfortable thing that you want to talk about that you've been hiding, why don't you find a way to make this clear? Because sometimes when you hide all these things, your spouse are going to find out anyway. And at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You've just caused more problem. And sometimes they want to do something for the family, and it's something you guys have agreed. And now they're about to do that particular thing. The fund is not there, and you've messed up everything. And because you've messed up everything, you didn't tell them. Get involved into all kind of business deals and all that, regardless of whether they are profitable or not. But you're not being open and transparent with your finances in the relationship. That is a massive betrayal, and that will cause pain in your trust for sure. And at the end, it will lead to emotional neglect, right? Because of that, you guys begin to grow apart. And when you are also deliberately abandoning your spouse, when you are not validating their feelings, when you are seeing that they are in pain and you are not doing anything because you just assume that, well, they will deal with things by themselves or life by themselves, that will create emotional distance. And when your partner realizes that you're not emotionally supportive, you're not emotionally validating, you're not emotionally connecting with them, there's no way that will not lead to living alone. We'll call it loneliness in that marriage, in that relationship. And when someone is lonely, sad, and miserable, they'll be dissatisfied in that marriage. And trust will just vanish. So, are you someone that is neglecting your spouse? Are you someone that is deliberately withholding love and affection from your spouse, communication from your spouse? That will create pain. One other way that I see trust can become an issue is past trauma. I think this is another one that most times we don't think about. Past trauma and baggage. If you think about trauma of any sort that you have been through, childhood trauma, work trauma, past relationship trauma, all kind of trauma that have given you this doubt and not belief in your heart towards any gender, trauma of betrayal, trauma of unresolved issues with your parents, your friends, things that have happened. And over the years, your relationships from a wilder scale prior to now is not stable. And you're still hurt, unforgiveness, there's still some pain that you're going through. You will start viewing the present relationship as the past because you've not let go, you've not healed from that. There's no way your current marriage will not be impacted based on that. So I always say to people, sit down and think about the emotional baggage that you might have. Think about some of these unresolved problems, conflict, troubles, issues, whether from sibling, parents, past relationships, work, whatever it is. It's good to make peace with your past. Otherwise, they will keep resurfacing in a very subtle way, affecting your ability to fully trust and fully be present in your marriage and relationship, which at the end of the day will not help the relationship in any way. So there's no point we excusing and pretending that we don't have any baggage. And when the baggage is very clear, the baggage is showing, the aggressiveness in your tone, the behavior, the attitude, and the dynamics of your marriage and relationship is showing that you are carrying trauma that your mother gave to you, your father gave to you, your past boyfriend, past girlfriend, past work colleagues. Maybe somebody died, a child died, or something, your sibling. There is something that is just bothering you, and you haven't dealt with it, and you're just carrying it all these years in the marriage and relationship. There's no way that will not affect you. Definitely, it's going to bring a lot of pain. So find a way to go back. If you have to get a therapy, a professional, an expert to support you to deal with this, it's really, really important that you do so. And then number 8, we have lack of boundaries. Lack of boundaries. I mean, we are human beings. We love respect. Sometimes we love our own space. And sometimes we don't want unnecessary intruders within the relationship. You just want to do things, not in a form of secrecy or trying to hold the relationship, but also you want space in the relationship to think, to reflect, to rejuvenate, to refresh. But the other spouse is just everlastingly controlling and they will not give it to you. That can create a lot of doubt, unbelief, and mistrust. So when they are telling you emotionally, don't say this to me because it hurts me, that's a boundary they're creating. And you keep doing it. Well, you're going to cross the boundaries and then you're going to create the problem of trust, a lack of it in relationship. Boundaries, you upset, you don't hit one another, you don't use some certain verbal words that are so rude, so disrespectful, so vile, so terrible. That can create, you're crossing the boundaries. Your conflict rules, you're breaking them. There's no way that will not lead to violation and trust in your marriage and relationship. So consider thinking about what are the causes of trust, or based on what we have shared, which one is happening in your marriage right now, which one is happening. Sometimes we know that this thing is happening, but we just excuse it. We don't even want to accept, because the first way to heal is identifying which area of my marriage and relationship or my life, because sometimes you are a problem. You as an individual, you are a crisis, and you're creating more crisis in the relationship, and you don't want to own it up. So look at everything we've talked about, the specific, which one is yours. Is it secrecy? Do something about it. Okay. Is it baggage? Do something about it. Past baggage, past trauma, deal with it. Is it boundaries? Is it you guys are physically fighting? What is it that is created this mistrust in your relationship? Is it finance? Is it communication? Do something about it. And one thing that I know that is so important, that the moment you identify what is causing this, or what are the things that have created this mistrust in your marriage and relationship, infidelity, broken promises, whatever it is, I see a lot of challenges, especially when I deal with spouses that wants to restore their own trust. There are certain things in the marriage and relationship that is a pain and that is a problem to them. What are the biggest challenges in rebuilding broken trust in marriage? If you don't look at it multidimensionally, you will just be narrow. So I want you to see what are the things around you, around the dynamics of your marriage and relationship, that is making it difficult to rebuild trust. And then we're going to find a way to deal with these things, because if you don't, building trust is just a fairy tale. You can be in that marriage for 50 years and you don't trust each other. And that's a terrible place to be. So, what exactly are the challenges that rebuilding trust in your marriage, rebuilding broken trust in your marriage includes? Number one, the emotional pain and trauma. When trust is broken, it comes with its own pain, it comes with its own trauma. The pain can be emotional. You might not even see it physically, but it's there emotionally. And you can see the way it shows. The person is withdrawn, is unexpressive, the person is freezing, they can't even speak, and they lose every sense of worth, and they begin to even judge themselves. So it's important to know why we address the causes of broken trust in relationship. Let's look at the challenges. So you now that has gone through this broken trust, or you see it, your pain, your trauma, which is validated, can strongly be a stumbling block, even finding peace. Sometimes you just, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to talk about anything. Just leave me and all that. Yes, they need that space sometimes, but we don't want to stay there forever, because healing from betrayal, healing from disappointment, healing from any of these things is difficult. Confronting these things are difficult emotionally, because you will see this rage, anger, grief, sadness, regrets, disillusionment, pain, frustration. So if you are right now going through a broken trust in your marriage and you are seeing this anger, this frustration, this pain, this sadness, this outburst of aggressiveness, this is an evidence of hurt, emotional hurt. It's an evidence of trauma that this broken trust has created. I've heard couples say, I wasn't like this when we met. If you ask my brother, my sister, my friends, they will tell you, I wasn't like this. Repeated broken trust in marriage and relationship can begin to rewire your brain, rewire your belief system, rewire your state. And the more this consistently happen, this incredible and amazing woman, this incredible and amazing man changes to something else that even she herself or himself cannot even believe that they are like this. It's an evidence of emotional pain. You know, you have gone through so much pain, and now you are becoming the pain. The pain has taken over your thoughts, your mind, your feeling, your state, your strength, your everything about you now is pain. It's trauma. So aggression, anger, sadness, regrets, disappointment, loneliness, frustration, everything, the whole thing is happening to you. It's understandable that if you feel like this for a while, not forever, because you're not doing yourself good, unforgiveness, all these things are just going to create more hypertension in your life, more cardiac problems, more lack of peace. Your life will just be in a mess. So we know that you're going through this. We understand that this has happened. And we know that your emotional pain is real. We're not faking it, because the evidence is there. But how do we go from here to here? That's what I want to talk about. So, understanding when you see people like this, or you yourself, you are going through all this. I know you weren't like this. Sometimes part of you that nobody knows about, the infidelity or the broken trust or the financial betrayal and all this pain and all that can begin to resurrect things that you've been worked on before. And if you're not careful, you become a very nasty human being, even though you have gone through betrayal. So watch out for emotional pain and trauma. There are evidences and challenges that can make you not to come out. But we have to come out. Number two, loss of confidence and security. You have gone through broken trust. Your wife did this, your husband did this, the marriage is like this. No confidence anymore. You completely have lost faith in your husband, faith in your wife. You don't believe any word they say. So it is okay for a while if you feel like this. If you feel insecure, if you feel lonely, if you feel you have lost faith, that's okay. That's fine. But we just need to know that this thing can hinder your peace, hinder reconciliation, hinder forgiveness. So if you do not start looking for a way, how can I get the confidence back? That's what I want to talk about later in the B part. How can I get the security back? How can I be comfortable to hug my husband, hug my wife, and lie with them and have sex with them and just enjoy their company, enjoy their presence? How would that happen after knowing what they have done, after what I have been through? So it is important, yes, to feel loss of confidence, security, trust and belief and faith in your spouse when these things happen or repeatedly happen. But we gotta rebuild the trust because we want to get the reassurance back. We want to get the consistent actions back to demonstrate commitment and reliability, restoring a sense of safety and predictability in that relationship. Yes, emotional pain and trauma is there. Yes, that's one of the challenge. You need to know that. Number two, loss of confidence and security. That's a problem. I get it. We understand that, but we don't want to stay there. Another one is communication barriers. You have seen and experienced broken trust over and over and over again in different aspects of your marriage and relationship, to the extent now that the dynamics of the relationship is non-talking, non-communicator. You don't speak anymore. The fact that you're not speaking and talking is a barrier to solution. It's a barrier to reconciliation. It's a barrier to find way out. Most times, you don't want to talk to your spouse. We get it at that time. But you can't stay 6 months, 1 year, forever, and then you want to still be in the marriage. That is a terrible place to be because it's going to be difficult. So broken trust can create it. And if you are not in that place, these are some of the things you need to know that people are going through, people are experiencing. So partners that are struggling to express their feelings and their fears, their needs, and just to understand a lot of things that is going on in the entire broken trust saga or scenario, if you don't look at it properly, it will even distance you guys the more. If you don't find a way to communicate and find resolution, you guys will be more apart. One challenge again, number four, that is difficult in bringing trust back or working on trust that is broken is vulnerability and fear. You have shared so much about your spouse. Both of you have been in that place of openness, place of trustworthiness, and that place of vulnerability. That place where your quirks, your flaws, your strengths, everything about your life is laid bare. There's no, you're not ashamed. But unfortunately, the fear of even trying to talk about some other areas of your life, even the way you feel, you find it difficult to even risk talking about any sensitive thing about you anymore to your spouse because of what has happened. That's a barrier. That's a big, huge challenge that we got to overcome. Because if we don't go over this vulnerability and fear to find a way to look at this thing again and check why this happened, what do we need to do, what do we need to stop, what do we need to continue, how do we find solution? If we don't get out of that place of them seeing us as whatever in quote weak or tearful or regretful, and you just harden yourself, you don't want to get involved in anything, and because of that fear that or if you go ahead to do this, by knowing more about what happened, you might even be hurt the more, and your feeling will be hurt the more, and a lot of concerns and all that, and then you are dying in silence. Your fear of being vulnerable can be an issue. Number five, repeated patterns of the same behavior. I want to speak to those that consistently. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, AJ. Yes, thank you, Margaret. Thank you guys for joining. Right. You see, one of the biggest thing that happens to building trust back is when the behavior that created the trust is repeatedly happening. I didn't say happened. Repeatedly happening. How do you build trust like this? If you are the one that is breaking this trust, if you are the one that is creating this pain, and you want the other person to believe you, the same financial betrayal, you keep doing it again. The same infidelity, whether intercourse, outer course, intro course, external course, pornography course, all kind of courses that you enjoy with another person that's not your wife, or with yourself, or watching some nude stuff, whatever thing you are doing, but you keep repeating it, you keep repeating it, you keep repeating it, and they keep knowing about it. And you want to build trust, you must be joking. You break their boundaries over and over again, physical, emotional, spiritual, everything, consistently, and yet you want to build trust with this person. How? You lie today, and then you lie next week. The entire month you've lied 6 times. You deceive. I say, oh, sorry, it's fine, it just happened. That's my behavior, that's my habit. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You never keep promises anymore. How do you even think you can build trust in this situation? That's not possible. I think this is possibly one of the biggest challenge. Repeated patterns, repeated patterns of the broken trust behavior, attitude, and character. If trust has been broken multiple times in the past, and then you expect your spouse to just say, okay, thank you, Mr. James. Sorry if anybody's James here, I'm not talking about you. Thank you, Mr. James. Keep, yeah, doing the thing. It's okay. I just like you um breaking my heart and breaking the trust. I like to feel pain and miserable and sad and frustrated. Yeah, just keep committing the adultery, keep watching all this pornography thing that I see around, keep flexing about, and keep taking the money and wasting the money and overspending, and keep just lying to me, and keep keeping all the secrets. I really like when you do all this. I just love the trauma that you have, and the pain and the aggressiveness, and the pain, and the fight, and the violence, and the domestic stuff you do to me. I just like it, James. Thank you so much for how you are just such a horrible and terrible husband to me. I just love how you are such a broken trust giant. Thank you for keep doing this, and I will be here, and this is amazing. Have you ever seen that before? No. That is not possible. That's not possible. You cannot demand trust in an environment like that. And then we also have time and patience. Number six, time and patience. It takes time and patience and dedication to rebuild trust from both of you. It's a gradual process. Can you imagine somebody has committed all sorts, and then come and tell the spouse, sorry, I slept with the secretary yesterday. It was a mistake. She brought the food, and I slept with her yesterday. So I'm sorry about it. I won't do it again. Okay, fine, right? Yeah, let's do something now. Right? Who wanna go out? Come on, baby, let's go. Yeah. What? Really? Oh, you know what? You see, the money that we care for the children's school fees, the money we care for the investments and all that. I just took the money and I gave it to my mom, my brothers and sisters. I gave it to everybody and charity and everything. Amazing. Sorry about it. I know the money's gone. I know you need more than that now. The family need money now. Don't worry. God is gonna provide. We're gonna do something about it later. So don't worry about it. Is that okay? Fine. Okay. Right. Let's get on with this. Where where does that happen? Hmm? You've just finished fighting your spouse, beating your spouse, hitting them, and all can break their boundaries and everything. And then you just tell them, you know what? I just love hitting you. I just love beating you up and all that stuff. Okay, fine. Can we have sex now? I love it. You're good. Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. I know some men can do this thing, but that is insane. That is practically insane. According to science, statistics, and recovery infidelity expert, it takes about 18 to 24 months, sometimes 36 months to recover from one adultery or one infidelity or one mistrust attitude and behavior in your relationship. It could take 6 months, it could take 12 months. People are different. The way people deal with different issues and problems are not the same. So you don't betray your spouse, hurt them, you don't create pain in their lives, and suddenly just wake up the following morning after you've done everything. You didn't even show repentance, you showed remorse, and you try to use words and charisma and bribe with money and things and just sugarcoat everything and all that, and don't jump the following day say, let us trust each other and be amazing couple once again. Love you. Woo! I think that's a lunatic. Honestly, they definitely need to see a psychiatric, because I don't understand if that man, that woman understand what marriage is all about. If he's thinking that he married an animal or married a tree or married an object, guys, it takes time. And if you're not in that position, be very careful. Because if you betray your spouse, you hurt them, you create consistent, repetitive, broken trust or promises and all sorts, and then you expect everything to be fixed in 24 hours, in 7 days. Okay, it could happen, but I can tell you, if you commit adultery and you betray your spouse in that level, and you expect this thing to be solved and resolved and everything come to normal within 24 hours, that's a pretty supernatural work. But there'll be a lot of pain. So please, you must be willing to invest in that relationship. It's gonna take some time. Acknowledge and then take time to build. And then finally, external influences. That's another challenge. When there are external factors like family members, like siblings, like friends, uh, societal beliefs and colleagues and whatever they watch online, and I don't care, whatever it is that's coming outside, it can impact the process of rebuilding trust. I remember a particular case I was dealing with. The man has committed repeatedly adultery over and over and over and over again, and then the wife has tried her best. She's done everything, and then she tried to relate this to one of the members of the family, and you know what they said, which is shocking, that, well, men cannot stay with one woman anyway. Uh Dad did it, so what's the big deal? Just manage. Okay, give him time. After sleeping with women a lot, after some time it will be fine. Wow, what a perfect counseling. What a way to cancel. This is why I always tell people, don't jump into your families, your siblings, your friends, and start talking about sensitive stuff about your marriage. Get a professional, get a therapist, get a certified, get a coach, get a counselor, get someone that understands these things properly. Don't start looking for sympathy from immediate family members because something has happened. And and sometimes I feel so sad that maybe the husband and the wife, something has gone to the in-laws or whatever it is in. You know you are wrong. You know you are wrong. But because of cultural, whatever, societal, whatever, family dynamics from your background, whatever, they are in a way on your side. They are not on the woman's side. They're not on the man's side. And you know that you are wrong. You know that you are wrong. But because the external party that you have informed, leaving out some details, the foundation and the roots, giving them the proper stage by stage milestones before you get into this blown out stuff that involve external parties, you never do that. You just sugarcoat some parts and all that and brought it to them like you were right. And in some cultures, they just blame the other gender. Bam, 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 bam. And then you're like, I told you that I was right, but you know you have conscience. I call that marital wickedness. That is wickedness in association with the devil, Satan. And you can see that your spouse is in pain. They are in pain. They cry. They feel regretful. And you are like this because the external parties are supporting you in your evil. Can I tell you, you are wickedness personified. Wickedness personified. You need to repent. You need to go and make restitution. You need to go and apologize. Send this video to your friends, your families, to everyone. And I want to say something to the external parties. If you are here listening to me, leave them alone. Stop running your mouth. Stop nagging. Stop siding. Stop looking for way to defend your brother, to defend your sister, and all that kind of gimmicks and strategies. It's not your marriage. It's not your home. Why are you destroying it by siding evil? I know what I love about God. You might win with your brother now. You might win with your sister now. The karma. What goes around comes around. What you are doing now, in one way or the other, is going to happen. You might say, "Oh no, no, don't." That's the reality of life. What you do now, thinking that nobody is seeing you, nobody is aware of it, just know that in one way or the other, you will reap what you sow. I love God. You will reap what you sow. So be very careful what you're sowing, guys. This is very powerful. So take your time to understand the dynamics of why in your marriage relationship, broken trust can be challenging to rebuild. It takes time and patience. External people can create even more trouble, repeatedly creating the same thing that caused the trust betrayal, and then you expect trust to happen overnight. The person is feeling down, they're pained, they're traumatized, they are lonely, they are broken, they are sad, and then you just want trust to be fixed overnight. I thank God for the grace of God, and I thank God for the Spirit of Christ in us, for those that believe in the power of forgiveness. But at the same time, it creates pain. So don't trivialize these challenges in trying to rebuild trust. I don't want you to go anywhere. because this is a very powerful section. I'm about to tell you how we can now rebuild the trust that is broken in your relationship. So stay tuned. Get more people. Share this on your timeline. Share this on WhatsApp groups. Let them come and hear, because this broken trusting is a big problem in marriage and relationship. It's terrible. It's tearing lives apart, marriage apart. Families are being broken because we are not addressing this issue, and sometimes we take it for granted. So don't go anywhere. I will be back shortly. Let's take a 2 minutes break. As you listen to this, I'll be back very shortly, and then we will continue. Hello, welcome back. This is Coach Chinda from Married Life Management. This is Married Life Show. In this show, we talk about practical tips, ways, and strategies on how you can navigate marital challenges and build a relationship that lasts, that is loving, that is satisfying. So, we have been talking about practical ways to restore trust in your marriage. In this section, I'm going to be talking about what we cannot do to restore trust. What we cannot do to restore trust. And I want to say here, if you need support or help, you've tried to do this over and over again and you still find it very, very difficult, I think it'll be nice for you to reach out to us. Okay. Reach out to us with the email address that you see on the screen. You can test us as well. You can go to our Instagram account. You can go to our Facebook account. You can go to the YouTube, type something, call us. Our number is on Google business page. We can do something to support your marriage and relationship. I don't think it is over yet. You've not tried me. Okay. So it'd be nice for us to have a chat. Okay. And if you know anyone that is struggling with this, why don't you give them our details and tell them to reach out to us? We'll support them. Okay. Thank you for being patient. Let's go into how we can actually deal with this big issue that we call broken trust. So, how do we restore trust? We have looked at what broken trust is all about. When you lose faith, when you lose confidence, when you lose any form of belief towards your spouse for a period of time due to unexpected stuff that have happened, due to betrayal, not keeping to agreements, and all that. And then we also looked at why they happen. Why do we have broken trust? And we saw different dimensions of broken trust triggers. And then we saw what are the challenges as well. That was in the last section. This section, I want to go exactly how do you now rebuild this trust? How do you rebuild this trust? So I want to be very practical and real here with you guys because it's a section that I believe can heal a relationship, can heal a marriage, can heal you and heal your spouse. Some people say, my spouse don't listen, they don't hear. Well, send them this or play this when you guys are in the room or play this when you're in the car or do something. Just sit down, promise them whatever you want to promise them, you're going to do something for them or whatever, and sit and put this on your TV, put this on your room, go on YouTube because a lot of TV now has these apps that you can just connect with your internet and watch this and take note and cry together, pray together, discuss it, and find a way to move forward. This is a master class that I believe that can turn the relationship around if we're willing to do something about it. Okay? And don't forget, if you have any question, just put it on the chat. I might take one or two before we wrap this up. Okay. Number one, on how you can restore trust, on how you can get things back. I want to say number one, open communication and confession. Please plan and schedule a time to openly, honestly address every feeling, every concern, every fear, every trigger as a result of what has happened. Both of you must practice strongly active listening, not listening to fight, not listening to throw bomb, not listening to throw blame. Remember that the fact that trust has been broken in your relationship is not the end of the marriage. Please, let's tell ourselves it's not the end of the marriage. The marriage can work again if you follow the steps I'm sharing right now. Set a time to talk when everybody is in that mood, not high tempo, low tempo, in a very comfortable position that we need to talk about A, B, and C because of how I feel about A, B, and C. With respect, not with violence, aggressiveness, not throwing bomb all around. And then actively listen. Validate each other's emotions without judgment. Even if what they're saying is painful, don't begin to comment or begin to react. We are adults, we are civilians, we are grown. Try to keep your emotion down and just hear them out. And then ask clarifying questions, not to hit back. You want to understand what is behind the actions, the whereabouts, the intentions, the motives. What led to A, B, and C? How did this happen? This is what we call diagnosis. You need to properly diagnose what exactly has gone wrong. And it has to be open. Okay? Very important. Transparent about the whole conversation. When we have done all that, you've understood, you've shared, you've broken, you've asked your clarifying question based on informations that have been relayed to you, either as the victim, the other person creating this mess, creating this pain. Apologize. Number two, apologize and take responsibility. You need to acknowledge that you have hurt your spouse. You have betrayed them. You have caused massive pain. You must take full responsibility of your action. You are an adult. You are not a teenager. You're not a minor. You're not a kid. You're an adult. So you need to acknowledge what you have done, what you have caused this woman, what you have caused this man. Don't always be saying, my father never did it, my mother never did it, or I saw them, my past relationship, I don't apologize, I don't say sorry. Even when I say it, it takes a lot of time because it's not something I am used to. Are you a devil? Are you a demon? Are you from hell fire? Is your name troublemaker? Is your name pain giver? Is your name betrayer, destroyer? What is it? What is the big deal that you cannot just acknowledge what you have done to your spouse or what you are doing to the marriage, whether it's financially, whether it's infidelity, whether it's broken trust, whether it's deception, lies? You are lying to your spouse. We are trying to find a way so that they can trust you again. And then you said, I lied because of A, B, and C. And then this lie that I've just told you now, it's not like it's real lie, because there was a rationale, there was a reason why I lied at that time. It was temporal lie. What is all this? What are you doing? You want trust to come back? Leave all these gimmicks, all this craftiness, deception, and manipulating your spouse. Try to use all sorts of stuff, bringing stuff. Oh, you did it. What about you? Yes, I know that what I've done is really high. It's really bad, but you have also betrayed me. Remember, January 14 2001, also during the pandemic, there's something you said. So it's not like we are not betraying each other, it's just that my own betrayal now is a bit higher than yours. So don't be feeling that mine is that bad because you have what is the reconciliation about all these dates and times and all the things that have gone and passed that you're bringing in? Because you want to manipulate your spouse. You want to subtly silence them. You want them to even feel guilty. Do you know what you're doing? It's gaslighting. You're just gaslighting them. You're trying to make them feel different. Please, can you offer sincere apology? Express repentance, not just remorse. Empathize with the pain that you have caused, the pain that you have created, the trouble that you've just triggered. Sincerely apologize. Stop making any form of excuses or shifting blame onto your own partner. That is not acceptable. That is wrong. Accept what you have done and then let's move forward. That is how you start. Open communication, verify, talk about the details, understand, clarifying. They're gonna feel pain, they're gonna cry, they're gonna say all sorts, they're gonna weep. What are you gonna do next? Apologize, take responsibility. It was me. Don't say, well, she came to me, then I did it. I opened the laptop, then I started watching the pornography. The thing came to me. I didn't realize that I was supposed to do that. My hand just touched the money and then I removed all the money from the account. No, I'm not too sure what exactly happened, whether I was mentally derailed, maybe I was psychologically not stable at the time, my thinking pattern and all that. Leave all this grammar, deception, manipulation, and just own up and get things done. Let's get on with this stuff. Apologize and take responsibility. When you have done that, okay, do you know that one way to show that your apology and everything that you have said is true? Number three, rebuild consistency and reliability. Why you guys, you've apologized, you've talked about these things and all that. Obviously, promises has been broken, commitment, vows, expectations, aspirations, agreements, goals, things have gone wrong. You can only begin to build trust with your spouse when you show evidential reliability. I said practical evidential reliability. It's not just words. Show it. Practical reliability. Demonstrate it by actions, by words, by behaviors, by attitudes. When you do this consistently, show up for your partner, prioritize your partner's needs and feelings, and understand the dynamics, and let your actions and words and behavior show that you can be trusted and reliable. You can't force this. You need to earn trust now. You don't get trust. You don't go and buy it in the shop or go online on Amazon and say, I want to buy marital trust. When can you deliver? Now they even deliver same day delivery. You can actually buy something in the morning, depending on which country that you are in, and Amazon will deliver it that same day within before 10 p.m. So you think you can just go online and buy trust, and they ship it to you immediately, right? Show by your actions, show by your words, show by your deeds. Be a doer, don't be a sayer. Be a doer, don't be a talker. Number four, establish boundaries and accountability. Set clear boundaries. You guys need to decide, because you want to prevent these bridges from happening. You want to build trust and protect the integrity of the relationship and integrity of every dynamics happening in that marriage. You have to keep boundaries and accountability. Most times, the one that create the betrayal and the pain will say, well, why are you doing this? I'm not just happy about the way you interrogate me, the way you try to find that stuff. Does it mean that you can't trust me? Yes, they can't trust you because you've messed up several times. So they're trying to trust you. So you don't have the right to begin to tell them to trust you immediately. Your words doesn't make any sense. It's your actions, it's your behavior, it's your character, it's your attitude that proves that you are worthy to start the trust process again with your spouse. Your behavior is directly proportional on the trust you're trying to rebuild, whether it's going to be yes or whether it's going to be no. Very, very important. So be willing to enforce consequences for violations of trust while offering grace and forgiveness. And you that is saying, okay, I forgive you, and all that, doesn't mean that you forgive and there is no accountability, there is no consequence. If this thing happen again, you guys are just living anyhow. In fact, can you imagine God sent Jesus Christ to die on the cross for us, and yet there's consequences for things. Number five, you can seek professional help. I mean, consider looking for guidance, for support, qualified therapist, qualified counselor, coach, and a lot of them are their marriage counselor that can support you in rebuilding trust. Work together with them, listen to them, because a neutral person, a party in your relationship, can even go further to look at more underlying issues, improve communications, develop other strategic ways to deal with certain things, help you guys build your boundaries and all that. So try to look for professional help. Number six, practice forgiveness and letting go. It's important that you might not entirely forget what has happened or what is happening or what you're going through, but it's your choice to forgive and to let go. Forgiveness, we are told, doesn't mean that you validate what has happened. Or you say, well, good luck, you did well by betraying me and causing me more hurt. For your own sanity, for your own peace, it's a journey that you're going through. Forgiveness is a process, and it's important that you take it one day at a time, one day at a time. And the betrayer and the one that are creating this, you need to also take the process one time at a time. The one time event will lead to another time event. Remember, your consistency and your actions over time will help the relationship to work. And you that is going through this, you must be very, very honest with yourself, because if you don't release all this pain and resentment and bitterness, if you choose to keep these things, you're going to be sick, you're going to be incapacitated, you're going to lose energy, you'll not be able to do a lot of things well. So this is why you need to let go of this past hurts, this pain, and start finding a way to move forward. Okay. And finally, which is the biggest of everything I'm going to say tonight, if you want to build trust, is rebuild trust through actions. That's it. Demonstrate trust through consistent actions aligned with your words. Let your words not just be empty. Back it with actions. And be patient. Understand that rebuilding trust is going to take time. Your spouse need time and the healing process. And at the end of the day, celebrate all the victories, all the milestones, and your consistency and how your marriage is being rebuilt, working consistently. And that number seven, which is say rebuild trust through actions. There's also actions of prayer, the actions of repentance and forgiveness and reconciliation back to God and turning back to Him and ensuring that you find a way to build your relationship. If you betray your spouse and you are adamant and you don't want to turn away from that evil, that pain, and you want to continuously do that, well, you're just exposing your relationship to further destruction and pain. So find a way to change and remember that there is effort required, there is time required, and there's willingness to confront any challenges head on. If you implement these processes and these steps that I've just shared, there is no way your marriage and relationship will not turn around. Things will change because trust is the foundation for a very strong marriage, and you need it in your marriage to have a satisfying and a stable relationship. Wow. I believe that we have shared quite a lot tonight. We exceeded the time I normally use because this is the section that I didn't just want to rush. I wanted to break it. I want to go deep. I want people to come back and rewatch this, play this in their cars, in their TV, listen to it, share with your friends and family. This can change the dynamics of any marriage and relationship. And remember, if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. When you do that, you will change the dynamics of your marriage and relationship. Okay. I just want to find out if there is any question. Okay. Any question? I might just take one or two. All right. And if you need any help, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and we can find a way to support you in order to start putting effort, time, willingness to confront any challenge that might stop the relationship from soaring. Okay. So if there's any question, I've seen a lot of comment here, but if there's no question, then please let's go back and rewatch this. Let's also visit our signature page. The advert that went on is our signature course, and you can see that on www.theloveframework.com, and it's where you can have quite a lot of information, rich stuff to transform your life. So the online course is here. Take action. They are very, very affordable, and there are areas I deal with trust as well. So if you go to that website right now, there's a lot you can do for yourself. There's a lot that this course can really transform your marriage, transform your relationship. There are people that have just got married. Give them that. It's very holistic course, and it can change the dynamics of their relationship. It can change the way their relationship is being viewed. Okay. So but they have to take action if they really want to see their relationship change, if they want to see their relationship transform and become better. This is the reason why you can take action today and you will see the changes and the dynamics of what will happen in your marriage and relationship. Remember, before we go, great marriages are not discovered, but are intentionally created. Great marriages are not discovered. You don't go and find it somewhere. You don't buy it. You intentionally create it from scratch. And it's a choice that you can make that happen. So enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you forward this, and I will speak to you guys next week. God bless you. Speak soon.